They can cut to the montage after
Exactly.
that line.
You good? Are we good?
Ready?
Set.
Yeah, the time we were making MythBusters, I mean, it was a difficult job. We did it full time for 14 years, but it was amazing. Showing up every week, doing a different kind of problem solving every single day, it doesn't get much better than that.
Whoa, jeez. I didn't see you there.
What's up?
Not much. Just, oh, yeah, could I? Thank you. What have you been working on the last few months?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Fair enough. How's that supposed to attach? Thank you for that. I love duct tape.
What's not to love? Hey.
For well over a decade, viewers around the world watched in glee as Adam and Jamie busted or confirmed myth after myth after myth.
Nice work, man.
The groundbreaking series
This is what I want you guys to test.
had more than its share of famous fans.
Welcome to the White House.
Thank you, Mr. President.
It is a thrill to have you here.
Now the dynamite duo reunite
Good to see you.
to revisit, reevaluate,
Oh, no.
and rejoice
That is pretty darn good. Hey.
in an all-time classic episode.
Let's do a whole hour on duct tape.
Okay.
Their very first adhesive adventure into the miraculous world of duct tape.
Oh, this is a life, eh?
The great thing here is that we've got this stunning visual record
I don't mind saying I'm hyperventilating.
of all the episodes
I got the chicken.
and all the things that we built with duct tape.
Airborne way.
And today we are revisiting our very, very first duct tape special. And not only are we going to take the viewers behind the scenes of how they were made, but they're going to get to see some clips that you have not seen in the original episodes.
And that's not the half of it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
They'll also be answering fans' questions on all things duct tape and all things MythBusters.
Now, Jamie, I have a very good viewer question here, and it's kind of, oh, that's what I'm supposed to read.
And for the first time ever, Adam and Jamie will finally reveal which of their many duct tape builds was their all-time #1.
That is a really good question.
On this sticky episode of MythBusters,
Relax. This one hurt a bit.
the team tackle a trio of duct tape tall tales.
Fun for the whole family.
First, Adam and Jamie strength test the mythical material in car lift.
Why, you ask? Because secretly you've always wondered, and that's why we're here.
Then they ask, can it keep your boat afloat?
I'm going in.
One that's already sinking,
I think we're gonna need some help from the camera crew.
and one made of nothing but the tacky tape.
You can keep your duct tape prom tux. We got a boat.
Meanwhile, Carrie, Grant, and Tori
Say hello to our little friend.
find out if it can stretch to sticking a cannon together.
Run!
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
and Jamie Heineman.
Bye-bye.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience. Joining them, Carrie Byron,
Look, Ma, no hands!
Grant Imahara, and Tori Belleci.
We're popping popcorn with lasers.
They don't just tell the myths,
Here comes chaos.
they put them to the test.
Well, as this was our very first duct tape episode, we were literally venturing into unknown waters, and we thought it would be good to start by measuring duct tape's two key properties.
Tensile strength and adhesive properties.
Exactly, so we could eventually hang a car.
And I thought it'd be a good idea to tape you to a board first for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Oh, no, I thought that was a good idea too, and luckily, it worked.
Relax. This one hurt a bit.
Channeling his dark side, Jamie Dexter Heineman goes to work securing his victim. And he's enjoying it a bit too much.
So, Adam, this is 20 pieces of tape. You holding up?
I'm doing good. It's actually strangely comforting. Feels like a really nice blankie.
Hey, bud.
This is cool. It's like I am the plywood.
Well, so far, you're not going anywhere.
No, I'm not going anywhere. Although I tell you, I can feel myself settling in here quite. Whoa. Wow, really, I'm almost weightless.
Perhaps I should point towards the mat? I'm just suggesting. There we go. Oh, whoa, hey. Oh, that was just the rigging settling, right?
Yeah.
Dude, this is actually quite comfortable. 2 rolls of tape equals a whole afternoon of fun.
Fun for the whole family.
Here is a viewer question. How come Adam got taped to the ceiling, not Jamie? Did you toss a coin, or did Jamie plain refuse?
I think that's just a classic Adam stunt.
That is a total classic Adam stunt. I think I was going to be funnier being uncomfortable taped to the ceiling than you were.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that was a pretty straight call. That didn't require a lot of discussion.
Of course, it goes without saying, but we're going to anyway. Please don't try this at home. Adam and Jamie are trained duct tape strength test professionals.
Lest you think that I am foolhardy or reckless for allowing my 180 pounds to be held up by 2 rolls of duct tape, this is actually quite a safe system. I feel quite comfortable. It's a distributed system, which means it has many points of failure, a lot of redundancy built in by all the different pieces of duct tape stuck to the plywood. So I could hang out here all day.
And in the meantime, Cary Grant and Tori had to build something which we had never got to build, a working potato cannon, but they had to do it using only duct tape.
This may look like a pretty random bunch of materials I have here. I mean, we're talking piping, duct tape, potatoes. But to me, this looks like the glorious beginnings of a good old-fashioned potato cannon. And that's exactly what I'm gonna build. Basically, a potato cannon is like any cannon. You have an explosion happening in the combustion chamber. Okay, that is my combustion chamber held together with duct tape. Gases are expanding and they need to escape, so they look for the path of least resistance. Now, that should be the potato. That's why the potato launches across the field.
Baked potato.
Now, the big question is, can the duct tape hold up as well as the actual cement that you use to put these pipes together? Now, we know that we can launch a potato with this guy. Can we do it with this guy without it exploding at the bottom instead of just launching a potato?
So with the cannons complete, the team makes its way to its detonation destination.
So we got us some potato cannons, and we can't fire them in the shop. So we've come to the Alameda runway where we have a big expansive space right here. We can shoot off into the distance and explore whether duct tape is as strong as a traditional glue that holds together a potato cannon.
He's just relaxing on his porch, shooting off his potato gun.
Yeah. You trying to hit San Francisco?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me introduce you to the latest items in the Cary Byron line of home destruction. This is a spud chucker made entirely out of PVC tubing with actual PVC glue. And this is the duct tape tater tosser, but this has duct tape fastening. This is a setup for a control test. We'll have Buster in the chair.
Load her up.
We've got a scale to tell us how fast the potatoes come out of the barrel, and just for laps, we'll be measuring exactly how far they go. This is gonna be great.
So great, the team feel it needs an audience.
Okay, instead of the peanut gallery this time, we have our potato gallery. We got like little Spud Grant, giant Spud Carey. For some reason, I picked out a huge potato for myself. And little Spud Tori. You can watch.
We ready?
With a couple of squirts of the classified propellant, the control cannon is good to blow.
All right, light it up.
Okay, we got the Spud Chucker, AKA Spudzuka, in 3, 2, 1. Woohoo!
All right, should we go see how far that potato went?
Absolutely. Where's Splash Zone?
All right, what do we get?
267 feet.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good. Sure, but they want a pretty good data set. And for that, they'll need multiple shots.
Woohoo! 397.
And more bad puns.
All right, and the next Spudnik.
Before they get the all-important distance average.
375.
So, can duct tape contain an explosion capable of sending a spud over 300 feet at a speed of 179 miles an hour?
Duct tape tater tosser in 3, 2, 1.
Oh! It worked! The duct tape held together.
Yeah, it didn't explode.
Not only did it not explode, the first shot from the duct tape tater tosser was right in the slot.
387.
That is right in the range.
That's almost exact. And it didn't blow up.
which is really what counts. But just to make sure, I think we might have to fire maybe a few more off, right?
Right, because although they know it works,
Whoa!
the question is, does it match the regular cannon's reliability?
Our spud chucker, held together by PVC cement, had an average range of 346 feet and an average speed of 179 miles per hour. Our duct tape tater tosser, which is a potato cannon held together entirely by duct tape, had an average range of 336 feet and an average speed of 160 miles per hour. That's a difference of 3% on the range and 11% on the speed. Now, given varying winds, differences in the masses of the potatoes, and different amounts of propellant, I'd say that's enough to call their performance identical.
See, now that surprised me because duct tape was invented primarily for sealing ammunition boxes, not for containing explosions.
A way that was never intended.
Exactly, up to and including lifting a car.
What could possibly go wrong?
Indeed.
Okay, I can see it starting to come up.
Come on!
Oh, it's almost painful to watch. Ah!
Stay glued for the answer, or just stick around.
It's only a matter of time.
Think MythBusters, and one phrase that readily springs to mind is car carnage, which prompted this pertinent piece of fan mail.
Here is a pretty cool viewer question. What is the most difficult myth that we ever did with a car?
I would guess that would be the fireman's lift, wouldn't it?
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
That was the one that I was the least sure was going to work in any way.
All right, all pumps up 10 PSI.
And yeah, it took a tremendous amount of engineering to get that to actually go. The fact that we started with 8 jets, and that was using more water than the city of Oakland could provide us. Remember that?
Yeah.
Come on, baby! 1-3! Yeah! Nice landing!
Well, that was spectacular.
But it was a very small car, and we had to remove the engine.
This is true, but we were tasked with hanging a full family sedan engine at all using only duct tape. So we did some tests to determine the breaking strength of a single strand. Wow, we figured out pretty much the exact weight threshold on the first try.
Yep.
And I think we came up with about 70 pounds.
Well, let's pick it up on the Alameda runway.
So all they need now is some wide open space and a car they don't mind dropping. Dead car driving.
Let's get started.
Okay.
It'll be a simple setup. A crane like this one, and a hook, shackle, and single crossbar.
This thing right here is what we're going to attach the tape to. Now, we could run all the tape strips to the crane hook, but we'd end up with a big messy blob. If we're going to get the most out of each strip of tape, we need to be neat and clean with it, and this will allow us to do that.
And hanging from the other end of the myth-inspiring sticky stuff will be the car, which weighs...
The car weighs about 5,000 pounds. Now, each strip of tape will hold about 70 pounds. So that means we'd get away with lifting the car with around 80 strips of tape, I think. We'll call it 100 just to be safe.
Jamie! This is your conscience. It's time to start working.
There are a lot of different things you can do with duct tape. You can bind things together, you can seal things up like ducts and so on, but what we're looking for here is how sticky it is.
I think I've got it down to a reasonable pattern.
If we do our job right, and we actually are able to lift the car off the ground, that cloth in the tape is going to give way before the adhesive does.
It's starting to look like a cathedral of duct tape. That makes sense. I mean, duct tape's almost a religion with some people. Why, you ask?
Because secretly, you've always wondered, and that's why we're here. We've used 99 separate strands.
All right, here it is. Last one.
Used up 5.5 rolls of duct tape, and by our measurement, this ought to be just enough to lift this car. I think it's gonna.
It's a thing of beauty, and despite the fact the guys have done the math and know it should work, it somehow seems improbable. Duct tape lifting a car? Well, we're about to find out for real.
Let's get it off the ground.
Let's start up the crane.
The crane winch cranks into action,
This is it.
and millimeter by millimeter, it gently pulls the car skywards.
Okay, I can see it starting to come up.
Come on. It's got a very loose relationship with the ground right now.
Oh, it's almost painful to watch. Ah!
It still gives me the willies to watch that.
Yeah, I can still hear the tape creaking.
Meanwhile, Cary Grant and Tori had to upgrade their potato cannon to build a real cannon using only duct tape.
Of course they did.
But they did do some tests to make sure that they had some chance of success.
A cannon, a regular one, works a bit like this. The black powder explodes in the combustion chamber, and the expanding gases throw the cannonball along the barrel. So first up, to find out how much duct tape is required to withstand those pressures, the guys are going to replace the back end of the combustion chamber with inch-thick tiles of tape. However many it takes.
I see injuries in my future. So it's time for me to whip out my cannon. Now let's just say I know a few things about building cannons. However, this time, we're building it out of nothing but duct tape. Now, duct tape is strong, but is it gonna be strong enough to withstand the kind of forces that are exerted by exploding black powder? So I need to make a strength gauge. Let's go to work. That way we can put the duct tape under the same conditions that a cannon would be under, so we can test the limits of this duct tape. I mean, black powder and duct tape? That doesn't sound like science. That sounds like a family reunion.
So this is the strength part of our strength gauge. It's a plastic frame I've cut out for layering duct tape. I'm gonna make a 1-inch thick sheet that I'll then cut down into 1 foot by 1 foot square tiles. They're gonna bolt onto the back of what Tori's making, and when we ignite our black powder, we'll find out how much duct tape it doth take. All right, let's cut it up into tiles. So we've used 37 rolls of duct tape. At 60 yards a roll, that's 2,220 yards of duct tape.
Hey, dude, you got something on your face.
That's 1¼ mile to make all the tiles we need for our strength test.
So with the duct tape tiles and strength gauge complete, it's off to a familiar and favorite location.
So it's time to find out how strong our duct tape is.
That looks nothing like a cannon.
But it does have similarities to a cannon. I mean, it has exploding black powder and a projectile.
And if you're wondering exactly why it's not a cannon, here's the man with the strength gauge.
First, we're not using a cannonball. We're using a piston. It's the same diameter and weight as a cannonball, but it's not a cannonball. Anybody got any duct tape? Second, we're not using a fuse. We're using an electric remote system to light off the gunpowder. And most importantly, there is no steel back at the end of this steel tube. It's gonna be a duct tape panel. Once we load this up and fire it off, what we're looking for is the piston to fly out of the barrel and have the duct tape intact. If that happens, then we know duct tape is strong enough to build a cannon out of. All right, we're hooked in.
For this to be a good, successful test, what we're looking for is that the duct tape tiles, whatever thickness we end up with, will be intact while the piston blows out the other end of the strength gauge.
Okay, so this is 1-inch thick slab of duct tape in the strength gauge.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Incredibly, it seems to have worked first time out. And it's disbelief all round.
There's no way this test worked on the first go. There's no way.
A 1-inch thick slab of duct tape was enough to withstand the kind of force to launch a cannonball. Wow! That's perfect, man.
It burned the heck out of it, but didn't blow out.
No, it's beautiful.
It just burnt off the wax paper, too. It didn't even go through the first layer of duct tape.
That's
this
amazing.
stuff is incredible.
We got a great result from the duct tape strength test. It looks like duct tape is gonna be strong enough to build a cannon out of it. Now all we need to do is build a cannon.
Just build a cannon. Humans have been improving metals for thousands of years so that cannons don't blow up, and somehow they're gonna do it out of only duct tape.
Why not?
It's also fair to say that cars weren't designed to fly.
Awesome.
It's holding.
But the boys aren't about to let gravity spoil a fun day out.
3, 4.
What are you nostalgic for? about your time on MythBusters? Generic or specific memory?
I would say just the general rapid fire, build this, figure this out. I don't think I've ever experienced such an avalanche of pushing through ideas and making them happen.
Yeah. Well, and the viewers can't see this, but it is a good portion of our MythBusters crew behind the cameras for this very shoot, and that is, I miss our crew. I miss coming to work with these guys every morning.
We miss you.
Rolling.
All right, Jamie, I believe we now have a car fully suspended using only duct tape.
The suspension is killing me.
Oh, I can tell.
Oh, come on, baby.
Adam and Jamie are attempting to lift a car with just 99 strips of duct tape. And they're close. Real close.
He's got one wheel.
It's off! It's off the ground! That's almost like a piece of temporary art right there.
That's kind of nuts. Why you need to do this, I don't know, but it's cool. It's holding.
That is awesome. Nice work, sir.
It's holding. And with a flight time of a minute and counting, the result is clear, leaving just one remaining question.
It's only a matter of time before it comes crashing down. It'll be just like a zipper opening up.
Yeah, as with all flights off the ground. Taking off is optional, landing is mandatory.
There, first one went. That's 2 strips of tape that are gone now.
Oh.
That's 3,
Oh,
4.
oh! Nice!
Exactly like a zipper. Plus, just like Jamie suggested, it wasn't the adhesive that gave way, but the tape itself.
Wow. I love how consistently it broke all the way along that sharp point.
Yeah, I don't see a single piece of tape that lost its adhesion. They all ripped right in the middle of the tape.
It's true.
Yet again, tools and materials used in ways for which they were never intended. In the case of duct tape, if you've got enough of it, you could move the world.
Not a bad way to spend the afternoon.
How did you know that what we did would cause the quote-unquote zipper effect, and how did you know that we'd get it within a few minutes?
First off, anytime you have a collection of fibers and duct tape or rope or anything like that, I've never seen a rope pull and then just immediately sever. It's all like ding, 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 and it goes. As to whether it was going to take a few minutes or not, you could kind of see that it was straining under the load.
You tended not to like to make predictions, but in this case, you not only made one, but it was absolutely spot on.
I don't know. I generally avoid them.
Okay. So with the car back down on terra firma, it was time for us to hit the water. We had a dinghy with a hole in it that we had to repair using only duct tape.
Yep, just plain old duct tape between us and Davy Jones' locker.
You knew Davy Jones, right? He did.
Well, if we're going to repair a hole in a boat with duct tape, then obviously we're going to need a boat with a hole in it. We've got a boat. It doesn't yet have a hole, but I'm about to remedy that.
It's a sizable hole in the hull, but confidence in the sticky cure is still high and dry.
This is a no-brainer. The tape's going to hold just fine. Under these conditions, this size hole, we could sail all day.
However, Jamie Glass Half Empty Heineman is prepared for the worst.
If you're gonna get in a leaky boat, you need to remember a couple of things. The first one is a life preserver.
All right, let's put this puppy on the water.
And the second one is something to bail with, like a bleach bottle or something like that. There we go.
All right, I'll step in.
Okay.
Well, it floats. It successfully supports one MythBuster. Two MythBuster.
I don't see any water. That's always a good sign.
And the dinghy with its duct tape patch is looking good to row.
Yeah.
Plus, it's also standing the test of time.
Should have brought my fishing pole.
Well, it's been about 25 minutes, and as both Jamie and I predicted, the duct tape repair is holding up beautifully.
Properly applied, the duct tape actually seems to be doing fairly well. I have to say, though, I wouldn't take off across the ocean with that kind of patch. It works, but it scares me a little bit.
And with good reason, because at the 30-minute mark,
Where's that water coming in from?
there's a hint that the duct tape isn't a permanent solution.
Yeah, it's pooling in the bottom there.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bad sign. It clearly works. I mean, we're still afloat, but I'm not too happy with it because we're going to have to start bailing before long.
I would say that it's not waterproof, but it's absolutely water resistant.
I'll buy that.
It's a testament to the tape that after 40 minutes, they're still afloat.
It's just a little wet.
But Adam has a tougher assignment in mind.
So I think our duct tape patch is holding up pretty well, but honestly, when I think boat repair, I don't think of repairing a boat on the dock and then putting in. If you're gonna do it on the dock, you're gonna have all the materials you need. Duct tape means you're in an emergency situation. I would like to create that emergency situation.
You want to get wet, huh?
I do. Rip off the patch, water's pouring through the hole. Duct tape's the only thing we got. We gotta fix that hole.
The water's cold.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Whoa. That's a bona fide emergency we got going on there.
I'll start making a patch.
You start making a patch.
Like the little boy and the dike, Adam is plugging the hole digitally. While Jamie goes to work with the mythical material.
If you have to apply duct tape underwater, you're going to have a hard time because the water forms a film that inhibits the adhesive from really connecting with the surface you're trying to put it on.
All right, going in. You ready?
Okay. It's really frustrating. It's just like the adhesive is not there.
Unsurprisingly, it's not sticking very well, but it is sticking a little bit. All right, take your foot off. I think we start the clock and see how that repair does. What do you say?
Starts now.
Okay.
There it is. The clock is ticking on our duct tape boat repair.
Countdown to failure.
And count down to Adam and Jamie's surprise revelation of what they think was the ultimate duct tape doohickey they ever built.
Yeah!
Reminiscing isn't always a pleasant experience. And here's a viewer question guaranteed to revive some really bad memories.
That was the end of Adam's television career.
No. What was the most dangerous thing you ever did with duct tape, and why?
Well, you know, we rappelled off of a cliff with it. Which...
That was so awful.
Okay, Adam, you got the other end. Don't let go.
I won't.
This is a long way down. Oh, my arms are about giving out. Almost there. Oh. I need a minute.
My nuts are killing me. Oh, ah. Whew.
But what about duct tape? Duct tape bridge felt the most dangerous?
And we made a mistake, and that was that the tension on the guidelines needed to be a lot more.
That really is quite hairy.
No, I thought the problem you were going to mention on duct tape bridge was that our yo-yo had a 50-foot throw when we were out at either end of the 100-foot bridge, but our dry dock was only 40 feet deep, which meant if we fell off the bridge for the first 10 feet, we'd swing and hit the bottom of the dry dock. We just realized that just get through that first 10 feet and everything will be okay.
That is absolutely awful.
Well, speaking of all things dangerous, it is now time for Carrie, Tori, and Grant to fire their duct tape cannon.
You want to do the honors?
I will. Here we go.
Imagine this duct tape roll is a slice out of the cannon. Now I'm gonna cut out the little cardboard insert so that way it's just duct tape. And if you look at it, I put pressure on it and it collapses. If this happens, when we fire off our cannon and our cannonball gets stuck inside, the whole cannon could explode.
And the team is going to play it safe by making its duct tape cannon barrel 2 inches thick. And to get the perfect shape, it's going to build it around a removable steel form. After a few minutes, the guys settle into a routine.
Oh, yeah.
With almost 20 rolls of tape used and the end in sight,
I think it looks like a giant duct tape zeppelin.
Or a big silver sausage.
Or that.
the team starts thinking through the next stage of the build.
Now, the hard part, getting this off the form.
I don't think it'll be that hard. I think we prepped really well.
Okay.
All right.
Famous last words.
Optimism, guys, optimism.
Exuding the confident glow of the well-prepared, Carrie has no doubts it's going to work.
Yeah.
The boys, not so much.
That's slipping right off.
Oh, there it goes. Coming off. Yeah! Yeah! We got it.
Yes! Say hello to our little friend.
Nice. Oh, that is a beautiful thing.
Now all we need is gunpowder and cannonballs.
Adam and Jamie are kings of the world. But inevitably, just like Kate and Leo, they're going under. Because while testing the myth that duct tape can keep you afloat, their emergency wet repair is leaking. And leaking fast.
I'd say we're at like 6-7 inches. Well, it's not looking so good for duct tape repair of a boat in situ. Here, I think we can still get back to shore.
And the craziest part of this is we get back to the dock and someone, if I remember correctly, offered us money for the boat.
Yeah, $100.
You guys want this afterwards?
taken.
Are you serious?
If you want this afterwards, I mean, we're just going to throw it away.
I'll double check with folks, yeah. Even for us, it'd be borderline, but I'll double check.
cautionary tale is what it is.
Yeah, for some reason it was worth more after we put a hole in it.
The next challenge was a little more involved.
Yeah, this time we actually had to build an entire boat using duct tape.
And only duct tape. And in that regard, I think it could be stated that we cheated a little bit.
Maybe. Let's go ahead and run the tape.
A boat made out of duct tape? But it won't be just duct tape, surely.
Now, because it'd be a little floppy if it was all duct tape, we're gonna use steel wire to make a grid to hang the duct tape on.
Ah, it's pretty.
Next, the mast, which is raised and welded into position,
Ahoy!
followed by the keel and rudder.
Oh, yeah.
Which just leaves the key ingredient.
You may see 100 rolls of duct tape. I see a boat.
If you're gonna build a boat out of duct tape, you need to think about the duct tape as cloth or like an animal hide. It's kind of like weaving.
With the second layer being applied, the cornerstone of their design should be noted. It'll be sticky side to sticky side.
That's the last one. The hull is done.
The double adhesive layer forming what the guys hope will be a waterproof bond. But they're not quite done yet. They need a sail. And in a classic MythBusters moment, we reduce the next hour of hard work and problem solving to a crisp 10-second montage.
Yeah, baby. You can keep your duct tape prom tucks. We got a boat!
It went over 500 yards.
Tori, Grant, and Carrie's real steel cannon can.
Now we have a target for our duct tape cannon. Now I'm hoping we get the same sort of distance out of this because this would be a really nice addition to our arsenal.
All right, the fuse is lit. It looks good.
So this is it. Can a duct tape cannon withstand and brace the force required to throw an 18.5-pound cannonball 500 yards? Or will the soft and malleable barrel grip the ball and cause it to bomb?
Okay, it's gonna be soon.
It worked.
Gorgeous. Look at that. There's no deformation. Everything is still pretty much intact.
And we launched the ball pretty far.
You know what that looks like to me? Confirmed.
Yeah, absolutely. It didn't go as far as the regular cannon, but it did work.
That's right. No explosion, and it went the distance. Confirmed.
When in doubt, more duct tape.
So what, did you think it was gonna work?
No, there is a reason, and a good one, why they make cannon barrels out of thick, heavy-walled steel and iron and not duct tape. But how did you like our boat?
Well, I was pretty confident it was gonna work, although I was prepared to get wet. Little did I know that it was gonna be because we were going so fast, it was splashing all over the place.
That was awesome.
But awesome enough to be Adam's ultimate ulterior use for duct tape? we're just about to reveal all.
What is your all-time, hands-down favorite thing you built on the show with duct tape?
Duct tape, that most miraculous of engineering marvels, has not only been the focus of 24 stories, it's been crucial to virtually every myth the team has tackled. It's built 5 boats, 1 bridge, and several hats. Almost 5,000 rolls, more than 83 miles of the sticky stuff have been pressed into service for science.
Cheers!
Duct tape, we salute you. Every once in a while, Adam and Jamie put their lives on the line to test a myth,
That really is quite hairy.
causing one viewer to wonder how carefully they prepare.
That is absolutely awful.
Okay, here's another one. How much R&D goes into your builds, or do you just show up and wing it? Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, it depends on the build.
Yeah.
Some things are technically very difficult and require a lot of research before we get into it.
I mean, that was one of the things you got, is you got the ability to smell the tough stories coming down the pike, like swimming in syrup.
This stuff feels completely bizarre.
1862.
That was respectably close.
We started working on that months before we shot because we knew that how complex it was going to be.
Yeah.
But then there were others, like trying to engineer the trebuchet, where we had a rough idea, but we showed up with as little of a plan as possible in order to just like wing it during the day.
That's a successful firing of a duct tape trebuchet. And nothing fell apart.
Sometimes we wing it, sometimes we'd show up with tons of research being done. But the goal was always to let something happen interesting on camera. All right, Mr. Heineman, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the high watermark of this episode. Our boat is built, and now it's time to find out if it is seaworthy. To set the scene, we are on San Francisco Bay. It is an average afternoon. The water is medium choppy, and our only goal is to stay afloat and keep our boat from failing.
Whatever floats your boat.
Indeed.
As unlikely as it seems, and surely in a world first, Adam and Jamie are attempting to sail
Let me get out of the way. There we go.
in a boat made out of duct tape. And despite the chaotic start, it appears the boat really does float.
You got the tiller on the rudder?
Yep.
You see any water down there?
Not a drop.
Preliminary reports are that it's seaworthy. Permission to climb aboard?
Come on in.
All right, here I go. I'm in. And we're away. Oh, this is a life, eh?
So far,
Understandable skepticism,
we don't have much wind.
but even glass half empty Heineman
Try not to put your feet through the bottom.
relaxes as they catch a draft and get underway.
This thing's holding water, man. I don't see a drop of water.
Yeehaw! This is actually working. There we go.
Oh, yeah. Hey, give me some skin there.
Ow.
Ow!
So much happens in a typical MythBusters shoot that not everything makes it into the final show.
I think I want to head for the Golden Gate.
But we're squeezing in this all too rare bonding moment between two old salts, for old time's sake.
And we are just about to see some unaired footage of you unexpectedly showing concern for my welfare.
Well, you were starting to look a little green.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
You feeling seasick yet?
No, I don't get seasick in little boats.
We'll see about that.
Oh, you want to try and make me seasick? Oh! You doing that on purpose?
No.
Fear not, there have been many, many times throughout the course of making MythBusters that my weak stomach has figured into our story.
Well, that's great. Adam's doing his best right now to help us attract more sharks. Scotty, I need more power.
I'm giving it all we got, Captain, but I just can't push it any further.
They've managed to make a sailing boat out of duct tape.
I think the key to it is making one nice piece of fabric out of the whole skin. Adhesive to adhesive was miles ahead of just putting tape on any which way.
So with a couple of days and a couple of dozen rolls of duct tape, we set ourselves the task of making a viable, seaworthy vessel. And while it's true that failure is always an option, I have to say success is pretty sweet.
Well, Adam, you know what they say.
Yeah?
Whatever floats your boat. I somehow didn't think it was going to be duct tape, though.
And so, to the question that so many fans want an answer to, which one of these crazy contraptions remains nearest and dearest to the hearts of our middle-aged daredevils?
What is your all-time, hands-down, favorite thing you built on the show with duct tape? Honestly, my favorite was the last boat we built, was my last duct tape raft for the level 5 rapids. It was also like riding kind of like a stuffed animal on the water.
Oh, yeah! Oh! Whoa! Whoa! Woo!
I would say it was the duct tape sailboat. I was proud of that boat.
So was I. It not only looked the part, but it was super, super seaworthy.
That was actually pretty durable.
It really was.
We had that hanging in the shop, you know, for 5, 8 years or better, and it still would have sailed us right out of the bay.
Right off the bat. And that was the first boat we built.
But it wasn't to be our last one, was it?
No, it was not. Thank you for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed that as much as we did.